Hello everyone, and welcome to a special festive build in Parkitect. So I'll just explain what this one's about. Basically, I wanted to do something sort of Christmassy, sort of festive, and I put together a small diorama in the scenario editor and allowed myself a couple of hours, as I had quite limited time really to do this. I didn't want to rush to put it together in a certain time limit or anything like that, but that's about how long it took, 2 hours, and I thought that was enough. It's not super detailed or heavily themed or anything like that, but I think it looks quite nice, and yeah, with a map this size you can get something together pretty quickly in Parkitect. So that's what I wanted to do, just to get in a sort of festive mood at this time of year. So yeah, really the map itself, I guess, I think it's 20 by 20. I can't remember now. And obviously it's a snowy landscape with some foliage that sort of suits the landscape, and I had free reign really to do whatever I wanted with it. I had a look through the different flat rides. I was going to just use a normal flat ride, but didn't really have anything that I thought was suitable or anything that I could think of what to do with. So in the end I just built a car ride and built a little bit of scenery around the car ride in the time that I had. So the first thing you can see that I'm building is I believe this is a church actually in Finnish Lapland somewhere, and yeah, I sort of did my own take on it and built a custom roof as well, which you'll see later on in the build, and this is the main sort of feature that you'll see as you're going around on the car ride. I didn't go for any like Santas or snowmen or anything like that. I just wanted to keep things quite wintry and yeah, just quite nice and scenic really. And you can see that we're resizing things, rescaling things that you can't normally. That's because we're using Construction Anarchy for this one, as I've been doing in the challenge mode park, and I think that helped to get a bit more variation. But we're only using the vanilla pieces as well, which is something that I quite like doing now, actually, just getting a little bit more variation, sort of playing in vanilla. But obviously with that one mod, so not completely vanilla. You can see that I've put a door there, and it's just reminded me actually that I really should have put something behind it to block off, because you can now just see straight through, but that's fine. The build isn't perfect, put it together very quickly, as I said, and as you can probably see that this time lapse is nice and short, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time today with this one. But yeah, I think I quite like this style of architecture. It's something completely different to what I normally do, and different to any other winter builds that I've done before. It got me thinking as well. I quite like doing these diorama type builds. So maybe I'll get back into the diorama competition next year if I've got enough free time. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. I suppose the ride itself is fairly basic. It really is just a loop, and the track isn't that exciting. That wasn't really the main feature of this build. I just wanted to, show off the scenery and make a nice sort of wintry diorama. And the second thing that we're putting in then is some globe buildings, so you could sort of stay in these like a hotel, I guess. Like globe igloos. I guess you would go in and gaze at the stars, and yeah, that's the sort of idea of these buildings. You can see before that I was trying to do them with the sort of construction wall pieces, but that didn't really work, so in the end I just did them with basic shapes, and I think they turned out quite nice, and sticking a load of trees around so that sort of looks like it's in a wooded area. Yeah, are the tree colours believable with the yellows and the the greens and stuff. Probably not, but I thought it would look a bit plain with all the trees just white and covered in snow. I do end up adding a load of snow to the roofs as well for these buildings, because for in a landscape like this, it's going to need it. I don't know if that always looks the best in a build, but I use plants and bushes rather than just the basic shapes to do that. I think it looks a little bit better. So there you can see the station building is getting put in, and this is very basic, but made a nice little custom window that sticks out a bit. Again, really helped by the rescaling tool in Construction Anarchy to do that, and then just using a couple of different walls and layering up some of the roof pieces to add a little more detail there. And once this building's complete, I think you can really see how the diorama is going to take shape. And here you can see I'm just using some adventure brick pieces, but rescaling them again. Such a handy tool to do, because you can do stuff you'd normally do with basic shapes, but it just adds a little bit more texture to them, and I think that makes it a lot more interesting to work with. And then using a slightly darker red colour for the pillars, and it gives it that nice festive feeling, and that it could be sort of believable in one of these sort of Santa type villages that you get in Lapland, I guess. For the roof then, I just used the standard adventure roofs as well from the building set, and rescaled them for the sticky outy bits, to use the proper technical terminology there, and then just rescaling a couple of curved borders or cornice, whatever they're called, to add a little bit of detail there. Like I say, it's not an overly detailed build at all, but yeah, I think it just is a nice sort of composition of colours and textures, and it works quite well together. In terms of the pathwork and stuff, it's not like, meant to be a real theme park or anything, so it's literally just a bit of pathwork out the front of the station building so that the guests can go on a ride and it's fully usable. But other than that, we just place a load of rocks down so that you can see sort of where you have to go to get to the other buildings, like the igloos and stuff. And then everything else is just covered in snow, so you'd imagine that it would be quite thick snow, and all the paths that you can normally see in the summertime when it's all melted aren't there at this time of year. There we go, then doing the roof using the different brushes and everything, and then the sort of final thing I did was make this textured roof, which is meant to be made of wood, and I think this looks really cool actually, and adds another sort of level of depth to the build. So yeah, I do add some lighting as well for night time. You will see that in cinematics. I think it looks really nice at night time. I add some green lighting around the forest and stuff, just to give the illusion that the aurora borealis are sort of shining down above the town, above the landscape. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the build. Very short one for today, and have a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and I'll see you all in the next build. Thank you.